Hello guys, video time is back. We have now we're starting to chapter 7, and like we talked about in class, we have to be able to factor. So you're going to see a lot of fast factoring today, and that's because it's something you should have already reviewed and you remember how to do. So something about this, the title can be very intimidating, I guess, because you see this word rational expressions. So like it says right here, it's nothing more than a fraction. And I know you don't like fractions, but it's going to be very simple. So please don't be scared. Just watch follow my lead, and I'll point you in the right direction. Okay, so let's look at what we got going on page 202. We have just a little bit of notes there, and in the sections, these are the examples. I'll call them J, E, F. So those are my examples for that I want us to simplify. But first, let's kind of see what we're doing when we just simplify a rational. Again, like I said, a rational is a fraction. So in this case, we have the fraction 15 over 65. So I'm going to go old school a little bit and just talk about how we reduce a fraction. Basically, we just want to find something that goes into the top and bottom, and then you can look at it like they did here, where they did 3 times 5 and then 13 times 5 and then canceled what matched. That's basically what we're going to be doing, but in more of an algebra setting. So we're going to have to factor, such as how this one is like it's already factored on top, already factored on the bottom. Then what happens is you should get things that are alike on top and bottom, and then you just cancel those out, and the thing that's left is your answer. Okay, so for instance in J, this is another one where it's already factored for you. That's step 1, but they already did it. So all we're going to do is cancel the things that match, and your 2-year-old brother or sister could do that part. So that's easy. The part of this that's going to be difficult is you factoring on your own. So that's how you work J, basically. Pretty simple. So for the next one, in E, what we're going to do is factor the top. Well, x plus 4 can't be factored. X squared minus 16 can be factored. That can be factored as a difference of squares, which is x minus 4, x plus 4. So you do have to be able to do that correctly. And then the x plus 4s will cancel out, and you're left with 1 over x minus 4. The 1 is up there to show as a placeholder in the numerator. Okay, and F, by the way, I'm doing this fast on purpose, so if you need to stop and back up, please do so. On top up here, what we're going to do is factor the top and factor the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and set it up this way because I know it's going to be factored into binomials. So we have x and x. The factors of 12 that subtract to give me 1 are going to be 4 and 3. I need a -1, so that means it's got to be a -4 and a +3. It's very important you get that step right. And then on the bottom, x squared minus 9 is x minus 3 and x plus 3. Again, to finish this off, I'm going to cancel out what matches. So my final simplification is x minus 4 over x minus 3. All right, now on to page 203. What we have here is how to multiply rationals. So basically, you might have something like this, and what we're going to do is multiply it first. So we remember that we multiply 5 times 6 to get 30, and then when we multiply these things, we have to add the exponents. So that's how we're getting these answers. So that's how that step happened. Then we just start canceling things that match. So what I like to do in this case is think about, you have this 1x is going to cancel with one of these. There's 3 there now, so if it cancels with one of those, then I have 2 left. So I have an x squared left over. So sometimes I like to do that all in one step. So let's see, let's look at this one that's down here. So we have 8 times 7, and then it will be x to the 7th and y to the 4th on top. On the bottom, we'd have 8. Let's see, x and then y to the 3rd, it looks like. So now when we get ready to cancel, we want to first start by basically reducing 56 divided by 8, and so that would be 7 over 1. Now, here's what I was talking about that I like to do. There's a 1 here on the bottom, and so what I do is I take that 1 and I cancel it with one of these, which means I have 6 left in the top. I think that's the easiest way to do these. Same thing with the y's. There's 3 down here, and I'm going to cancel that with 3 of these, which means there's only 1 left. So that would be y to the 1, and we ended up not needing this fraction bar down there. Okay, so that's pretty easy. So now that's a little different when you solve one that needs to be factored, in that we're not going to multiply everything together. We're just going to factor all 4 places. So for instance, up here at the top, let's go ahead and write this out like this. This is going to be factored into, I'm going to take out a GCF of 3x, so I'm left with 1 minus x. Down here on the bottom, I'm going to factor into, let's see, x and x, I need 5 and 1, positive 5 and a negative 1. Up here at the top, I'm going to use x and x. Factors of 20 would be 5 and 4. I need a positive 5 and a negative 4. And then on the bottom down here, I have 3x. All right, so watch what happens. Anything that matches, anything that's on top of either fraction and anything that's on the bottom of either fraction will cancel if it matches. So I have 3x and 3x cancel. Let's see, x plus 5 and x plus 5. And that's almost it. We're very close. Like this right here almost cancels, but it actually doesn't, because the 1 is positive up top and negative down bottom, and negative up top and positive on the bottom. Now, since they're so close, what I can do is actually take this guy up top and factor out a negative 1 and make it so that it cancels with the bottom. So if I take a negative 1 out of that, then I'm left with negative 1 plus x. And now this guy, the positive x and the negative 1, cancels with this positive x and negative 1. You just have to have a factor of negative 1. So your final answer is going to be negative 1 times x minus 4 over, looks like there's nothing left on the bottom now. So it's just this, which you would probably see as negative x minus 4, possibly. Okay, and then tomorrow in class, I want you to get good at this first, but then tomorrow in class you will learn what these exclusions right here look like and how those work out in your problem. Alright, so to have yourself prepared for tomorrow, I want you to try on page 203 numbers 1, 4, and 8. This is the first time you've seen it. Please go back and watch the video as much as you need, but don't come in with anything blank. I want you to at least try something. Try the factoring at least. Bring in something that we can work with. Okay, good luck and have a great rest of your day.